Game 4 in the books. Milwaukee took one at home, then they lost the second one. So exact same way the Celtics went when their first two home games. 1-1 on both matchups. Obviously now it's tied up 2-2, so we have to go into a Game 5 in Boston. And as a Bucks fan, this is pretty much a must win in my opinion. Obviously it's going to be difficult on the road, but we did it in Game 1. I know we can do it. But this game really got away from us in that fourth quarter. We had a big chance to be close in this game. I'm not saying we would have won, but it was very close all the way up until about the 8-minute mark. And I believe I saw somewhere Boston ended up shooting about 80% and like a little bit higher than that from the field and from three-point land in that fourth quarter. They had an amazing quarter, outscored us by a lot. And we really just didn't stand a chance. And I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video, but this was probably the first game that I noticed that we needed Chris Middleton in to actually be successful. And unfortunately, it showed and it caused us to take a loss. But before that, I kind of just want to talk about some of the big things going around in this game. And I really want to just talk about Grayson Allen, because Grayson Allen finished with 7 points. He shot 7 shots, went 3 for 7, 1 for 4 from 3. But Grayson Allen scored the first bucket of the game, all of the entire game. And then he just disappears. You guys remember a couple weeks ago against the Bulls in the Bulls series, or not, about a week and a half ago now, he was dominating, and now he's so passive. He won't take any shots. He doesn't run the offense like he was doing against the Bulls. Now I understand this is a better defensive team, but we needed that scoring from him, and we needed him playing like that to be successful as long as Chris Middleton's out. And without him playing like that, it's been very difficult to get any offense going. I mean, when Jrue Holiday, 41 minutes, he had 16 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds on 5 of 22 shooting. He was 1 of 6 from 3. And don't get me started on how many drives like a football game, possessions we had where Jrue Holiday just walked down the court, did a step back 3. No ball movement, nothing. It just clanks off the rim. Yeah, they're great when they go in, but they weren't falling today. I think he can bounce back. I mean, I know he can bounce back. He did it for us in the finals. And I have faith in Jrue Holiday to be our second star right now while Chris is out. But it's going to be difficult because of how much energy he puts out on the defensive side of the ball. So I just don't know if he's going to have enough energy to do that on offense. Brook Lopez came up huge today, though, in the minutes he did play. He played around 29 minutes. He scored 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 of 11 shooting. That's about as good as you can ask for Brook Lopez. He's a great player, a great teammate, and he just brings that rim protection. He did a good job tonight. I can't really complain about much from him. I mean, Bobby really didn't have anything. Pat Connaughton, 3 of 6 from 3, 50%. 11 points, an okay game from him off the bench. But this game really, in my opinion, just got out of hand in that fourth quarter. And we all know, they actually posted it on Instagram on Bleacher Report. When Giannis dunked on Al Horford and stared him down, he got the technical. That's the moment Al Horford went off. Al Horford, 30 points, 8 rebounds. He shot 11 of 14, 5 of 7 from 3. He had an outstanding game. And this has kind of been the routine for the Bucks this playoffs. As you remember in that second game against the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan had a historic, great performance in the playoffs. Probably his greatest game he's ever had in the playoffs, and they won. After that, dud after dud, and he wasn't able to get through it. Game 2 of this series, we lose to the Celtics. Jaylen Brown and the Celtics overall have an historic shooting night. Jaylen Brown scores 25 in the first half. We lose that game. And now game 4, Al Horford has one of his best playoff games probably in his career, if not in his career, definitely since he was in Atlanta, one of his best playoff games. And we lose. So every game we've lost, it's taken a career performance or one of the best career performances of a player or historically of a team to win a game against us. So that is one thing that gives me comfort as a Bucks fan, knowing that the only reason we've lost these games is because of how well they've shot in some of them, not because of lack of defense either. Some of these shots are very well contested. I remember late in the fourth quarter, we got it down to 6. Jason Tatum hits a falling acrobatic layup up and under. I mean, as he's like diagonal to the ground. You don't see that go in very much. And, you know, if it's going in, there's not really much you can do as a defender in the game other than hope that next game it doesn't go in. And really the main thing I want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about the refs or anything because like I said last game, I don't like blaming everything on the refs. Sure, there's questionable calls both ways, and you could say that about any game, honestly. I mean, I'm sure Giannis gets hacked a lot more than he gets called for whenever he's going through the lane. I'm sure some of those blocking fouls on Giannis should be charges on Giannis instead. You've kind of got to give it equal ground. He's such a hard player to officiate just because of how fast he moves and how big he is, and also when you've got guys like Marcus Smart out there. So it's a little hard to really officiate him consistently or efficiently. But I think most of the calls, both sides, were fairly correct. So there were some bad calls going against the Celtics and some bad going against the Bucks. So either way, you can't really blame the refs for anything. But the main thing I wanted to get into this video, which really, in my opinion, popped out on this game, is the lack of ball handler or the offensive initiator for the Bucks in that fourth quarter. Usually we all know Chris Middleton controls the ball in the fourth. Giannis rarely does just because of, he's not the greatest shooter. They could foul him. He's not the greatest free throw shooter. And usually that means Chris Middleton's there. He's running the pick and rolls. He's calling the plays. Occasionally he'll give it to Drew for that, but usually it's Chris. And you could really see that we needed that this game. Obviously he's out for most likely the series. So we just didn't have that. There were many possessions right there late in that fourth quarter where we just were running around looking like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. No plays going, just trying to get open and chucking up stuff, hoping that it falls. And that's really where I think Chris is at his best in that fourth quarter, playmaking and initiating the offense at the top of the key, getting into his mid-range spot and hitting those clutch shots like he always did in the playoffs last year. But at the end of the day, he's out for the series, so it's got to come from somebody else. And that's not where I'm asking Grayson or Pat or anybody to step up. You've got to give that to Drew or Giannis. Giannis has got to step up and take it in the fourth quarter. I know he's not the greatest shooter, but we need him to in this series if we want to come out and win next game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a hard fight, and hopefully we can at least keep it close in that game 5. And best case scenario, come out of Boston 3-2. And go back to Milwaukee with a chance to end the series. That would be the best case scenario, obviously. But either way, if we lose in that game, there's still a chance. We did it last year against the Nets. I know we can do it again. This is a very tough team. We just need that playmaker. We need somebody to step up in that fourth quarter and third quarter just to run the offense, basically. And you've got to look at Drew Holiday for that before anybody else. That's my main topic for this game. Disappointing loss. How you guys feeling about this? Make sure to comment that down below if you're a Bucks fan or if you're just a fan looking from the outside. I would love to see your guys' perspective of our offense, of how well the Celtics have played in some of these games. But yeah, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Comment your predictions as well for the next game. I always love to see if you guys think we'll win. What do you guys think will happen in that game 5? Which I believe will probably be Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure, but usually it's about a day in between. So probably Wednesday night sometime is when we'll see the next game. And can't lie, I'm pretty nervous for it. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe after this video. Thank you guys for watching these little recaps. I've enjoyed making these, so I'll probably keep up with them going into the off season and into the next year. Mostly just going to probably keep it about the Bucks. I may occasionally make it about other teams, but the Bucks are my main passion or favorite team, so that's probably who I'll stick to the most. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time.